How do you find a love that lasts?
Okay.
Just reading the prompter, we're taking our questions to an expert on this Valentine's Day. And this applies to all of us, single or in a relationship. It doesn't make a difference.
Yeah, well, Nicole Nalepa caught up with a dating coach, author, and Netflix star, Aleeza Ben Shalon, for a special episode about love on her podcast, Mommyhood Unscripted. She had some great insight, some rules, and tips and hacks that will put you on a track to understanding how to love and be loved. Take a look.
Basically, in dating, if you fail 99% of the time, you have succeeded in dating successfully, because there's always a blessing in a no. When you get a no, it means you're not for me, I'm not for you, or it's not the right time. And that's okay. Now we have clarity. Now we can move on. And then when we move on, we can hopefully find the right person. And if it's not, we want it to be a no. Because if it's not a no and it's a yes to the wrong person, then we end up married and divorced. So we want to, we should look forward to the no and the moving on and then picking ourselves up. But nobody likes failure, and everybody thinks that failure is getting a no. Failure to me is not trying at all. If you make no effort in dating, that is a failure. When you want it and you want to find somebody, but you're not willing to put yourself out there, that to me is a failure.
And for any of our viewers and listeners, who have been divorced or going through tough times, separated, self-discovery comes up a lot. Self-care, self-discovery. Is it possible to experience self-discovery while you're in a relationship, or would you advise working on yourself first before getting back in another relationship?
Both. So if you're not in a relationship, for sure, work on yourself first, get clear and be intentional about who you are and what you want so that you could find somebody that's a better match and a fit. If you're already in a relationship and you're like, oh, but I thought maybe I still need to discover myself more, I think that we're constantly discovering ourselves. I've been married for 22 years and I've discovered and rediscovered myself. And every couple years, it's like, wow, like looking in the mirror and looking back and going, there's something that's happening here, like who I was. There's little pieces of it that come with me, and it's also a part of who I am. And wow, I've also grown and changed so much with every child. There's like huge changes that happen in our life. You kind of think like, oh my gosh, I can't take any more. And then you bring another one in the world and you're like, I can do it. I can do it. It's magic. But I would say that self-discovery never stops. Even when you get married, it shouldn't stop. We ourselves are always growing, and everybody has a different pace of growth. But the question is the relationship growth, right? There's my personal growth, their personal growth, and then where that overlap is right in the middle is the relationship growth. So that we need to be aligned with. But I think that our own personal growth is not necessarily going to be aligned. So like this, you and I, we go on a walk, right? And you're like a speed walker and I have short legs. So I don't walk as fast as you walk, right? If you want to walk with me, then you have to walk at my speed. Why? Because I can't move any faster. And in a relationship, I actually talk about this in the book, you can only move as fast as the slowest person in the relationship, right? So if somebody's growing, that's great, except the other person that cannot move at that speed, if you want to be in alignment with them, not that you shouldn't grow, but you should try to align with them where they're at to help them grow. Now, your own personal growth, again, is one thing, but the relationship growth, the person who moves faster has to move at a slower pace, at the pace of the other person, and grow with them. And you'll see there's actually something really beautiful at growing at a different pace, because a lot of people think fast is good and slow is bad. But when you think about breathing, right? And we slow down our breathing and we do yoga and meditation and we have deep breathing. Is that bad? No, but it's slow, right? Slow isn't bad. And in growth, slow isn't bad either. It's just a different pace. And so I think that we have to reset our mindset so that we can learn how to be in relationship with somebody else and build that relationship together.
All right, some great advice. You can listen to the full conversation on Nicole's podcast, Mommyhood Unscripted. Just search it wherever you get your podcast, or that is the QR code to download it right there.
I love it.
Did you learn anything, Scott?
I learned so much.
While you made fun of me while we listened?
Yep.
Okay.